Welcome back, SethBling here. Today I want to show you a design I came up with for a villager sorting system and trading hall. Now the idea is you have some sort of reservoir of villagers that you've got from an infinite villager breeder, and you want to figure out which ones have good trades and keep those and basically just kill the rest. So you can come in here and right click on any of the villagers. This one's a nitwit, so if you want to kill him, you just look up, press the button, and some lava will get dispensed, and eventually they will burn to death. And once he does, a new villager is going to be picked up in this minecart and put into that slot. And a cleric is much better. So you can kill as many as you want at a time. Boom, 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 boom. They'll all die, and it will automatically pick up new villagers from the reservoir, bring them around through the back, and refill it. And so until you don't have any villagers left in the reservoir. So this is a really great way to just sort through your villagers. It's pretty resource efficient. It's fairly compact, and yeah, just it's extendable and everything. So the way this works is based on Activator Rails. So here we have an Activator Rail. If you go through it, will be put into this spot with a pressure plate here. And the pressure plate detects that I'm here, triggers this redstone torch, and that will actually turn off the activator rail. So when there isn't anybody on the pressure plate, the activator rail is on, and it'll boot you out onto the pressure plate. But once there is somebody, a villager, on this pressure plate, it'll turn off that activator rail, and nothing else will get put into that spot, and it'll go on to look for a different activator rail. Now there is something important that I need to mention. This minecart is going around clockwise, and it must always go around clockwise with this design. I mean, there's ways to design it for counterclockwise and everything, but let me show you what I mean. So let's put a villager in here. So the villager will hit that activator rail, and it'll get put onto this pressure plate, and that's because the minecart, when it hits an activator rail, always looks forward and, well, to the right and left, but it looks forward to see which direction to put the villager or whatever its contents are. So if you put a second one, you can see it goes forward and puts it over there because that's the only available slot. Everything else is covered with glass. If we do it from the other direction, though, it's still going to look forward, and just because of the way we have the torch, since this pressure plate controls this activator rail, this one's still on, and, well, we doubled up here because it looked forward and to the left there to see where to put the villager. Now if we put another one in from over here, it's okay, it'll go forward and to the right, and it'll get put in the right spot. But if it ever goes backwards, you may end up with villagers doubled up or tripled up or etc. in these slots. Yeah, there's two of them. So yeah, let me show you how to build this. It's pretty easy. So you start off with, well, I'll build like two in a row, and just to show you how it tiles. So you start with a pressure plate, and then you put a torch off the block to the side and a block above that. And next to that block is where the activator rails are going to go, so it's powered by the torch. Now you need to put some powered rails in between. It doesn't have to be with a redstone block. If you want, you can put down a redstone torch and put a block above that, put down the powered rail. Next, we need to cover up all the slots that the activator rail could spit out a villager into. So you cover up the rail, making sure to get all the adjacent and diagonal slots too. And now at this point, this is good enough. This one will look forward and it'll put it here. This one will look forward and it'll put it here. And this is actually well enough covered. So that's all you have to do there. So if you just want to manually kill the villagers, this is actually pretty close to good enough. I mean, you'll need to like enclose these so the villager can't escape. If you just want to hit it with your sword in order to kill it, this is all the like redstone you need. But if you want to have an automated killing system, let me show you how to do that. So put a temporary block there and a dispenser facing down. This will have a bucket of lava, but we don't really want to put the lava yet. Okay, so next we need an observer pointed at that one. So put a couple temporary blocks there, like that. So then we'll do that over on this one too. So we have a dispenser and an observer. Now we need a block on top of that and a block on top of that. And this is where the wooden button is going to go. Wooden button is important because wooden buttons stay pressed for longer. So now when you push it, the observer will trigger the dispenser, and when it gets released, the observer will trigger it again, which will be a good amount of timing for these lava buckets. And it just turns out that wooden buttons and lava buckets have about the same amount of time. I've tested this for quite a few times, and I've never seen the lava actually flow. So it actually, before the lava has a chance to flow, this button will retract the lava. So there's the kill mechanism. Now you just need to make sure that the villager isn't going to be able to escape, so we can just put a couple of slabs around it to maximize the sort of visibility to the villager. And yeah, that's it. So I can put, just to test it out, so let's put a couple more powered rails. And here's one villager. He goes in. Let's put another villager in. He'll go in the second slot. Need to get rid of these. These are both nitwits, so let's kill him. These are independent kill mechanisms, so it's okay to use them both at the same time and everything. So yeah, you basically do this as many times as you want. You can have a return track. Just make sure that when you do that, you sort of rotate the torches so that like the torches, this one had a torch over here, but if you wanted to do it on this side, you'd want to make sure, let's see, what was the spacing? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And so I think it goes, no, here. So you'd want to make sure the torch was on this side so that when it comes around, oh, sorry, I got it wrong. On this side, so that when it comes around, this is the activator rail that's controlled by that pressure plate, and so when we're going forward, this activator rail will spit the villager out on top of this pressure plate, which will turn that off. So you need to make sure the correct pressure plate is linked to the correct activator rail. Yeah, that's really all there is to it. Oh, that's a different design I was playing with. Where am I? Over here. So yeah, you can. These don't actually have to, like, you don't have to have 2 rows of this if you don't want. You just have one really long row. You can have like a big square of them. You can actually get these to be 1 block closer together by sort of like shifting this half up that direction by 1 block and then moving it in a block closer. And then instead of having these like pairs of buttons, you would just have a single row of buttons. And like this one would control this villager's death, and then there would be one here that would control the villager here's death, etc. So it's pretty flexible how you actually want to place this. Also, you don't have to use glass for any of this. This is any block that won't suffocate a villager. Similarly, here you could use glass here, or anything that's going to keep the villager from being able to walk out. And you can fill in all of the, you know, if you want to make this an archway or whatever without any visible access to the sky or whatever. There's a lot of flexibility with how you actually skin this, but yeah, it's pretty straightforward to build, pretty quick. Doesn't use too many resources. That's about it. Thanks for watching.